Chapter 2, Mishnah 6. We learned in Mishnah 4 that leaven and spices of truma do not become nullified even in a mixture containing 100 times more chulin. The Mishnah now qualifies that ruling. In regard to what did the sages say, any truma that leavens dough that is chulin, or that spices a dish that is chulin, or that creates a meduma mixture of truma and chulin without any leavening or spicing taking place, is always to be treated strictly. They said in regard to truma of one kind of produce that mixes with chulin of the same kind. And in regard to what did they quote, the mixture is to be treated sometimes leniently and sometimes strictly, unquote. They said it in regard to truma of one kind of produce that mixed with chulin of another kind of produce. The Mishnah illustrates the first of these two rules. How so? In what way is a mixture of truma and chulin of the same kind of produce always treated strictly in the case of leaven? For example, if sourdough made from truma wheat fell into a regular dough made from chulin wheat, and there's enough sourdough to leaven the chulin dough, and whether there's enough chulin to nullify truma in a mixture of 101 parts, 100 parts chulin to 1 part truma, or whether there's not enough chulin dough to nullify truma in a mixture of 101 parts, i.e., there are less than 100 parts of chulin to 1 part of truma, the dough is forbidden to non-kohanim. Where the truma leavens the chulin, no amount of chulin can nullify it because the truma's effect is visible, as we learned in Mishnah 4. On the other hand, if there is not enough chulin to nullify the truma sourdough in a mixture of 101 parts, then whether there's enough truma sourdough to leaven the chulin dough, or whether there's not enough to leaven it, the chulin dough is forbidden to non-kohanim. Since there are less than 100 parts of chulin to 1 part of terumah sourdough, it does not matter whether the terumah leavens it or not. Terumah never becomes nullified in a mixture with the same kind, unless there are 100 parts of chulin to 1 part of terumah. In short, when terumah sourdough falls into ordinary dough of the same kind, we always treat it according to the stricter of its two qualities. If it can leaven the dough, we treat it with the rule for things that leaven, and it never becomes nullified. If it cannot leaven the dough, we treat it with the rule for terumah, and it cannot become nullified unless there are 100 parts more chulin. This is what the sages meant when they said, any terumah that leavens is always to be treated strictly.